So there are a lot of different software out there, like TestFit. There's ones that do energy analysis, programming analysis.
I think TestFit is different because I see more potential in it than the others because it's catering towards the GCs, the ones with the money, not just the
The
architects.
GCs and developers.
Yeah, GCs and developers. They're the ones who actually make the decisions, get the funding.
There are other softwares out there that do what is called energy analysis, which is where they take the massing model that the architects developed and that everyone's agreed on, and they sort of analyze what all the glazing of the building is going to do, where the sun's going to come from, what the kind of carbon emissions is going to come from this building, and things like that. I think Autodesk used to have a software called Ecotech that did things like that. I don't know if that software is still around though.
Cove Tool is another such software that does things like that. And it's extremely important. And we played around with something like that in college too. We'd get all, each facade would be colored in red or purple or blue, depending on the amount of sun it theoretically received throughout the year. And we'd feel so happy when we did those analysis and we'd put them up on our presentations and make us feel smart.
Yeah, and architects love to do that and they love to present that to the clients. But at the end of the day, the client cares mostly about money.
Until we have strict energy requirements in building codes, and I hope we do get to that point with all these 2030 goals, it's hard for them to seriously consider long-term operational costs when they're just looking at upfront costs.
Yeah, these are the kind of things that will get value engineered out.
It's very unfortunate, but that's the reality of it. So with something like TestFit, it directly affects return on investment.
It really makes things speed up at the beginning of the schematic design process.
The part where you need to spit out as many iterations or design options as possible. It's a very that's what's great about this software. It has defined what stage of the design process needs to be automated, and it's only focused on that part. It's tricky because the software is used by different people with very different backgrounds, like we talked about, the developers, the architects, and the GCs, and they all looking at it from different angles. So they have to put a lot of parameters in the software.
It's like 3 software in one.
Correct, yeah. So it's very tricky from that angle because you have to talk to 3 different people with 3 different backgrounds and incorporate all their feedback into this one robust program.
Yeah, and I don't know if you really see that anywhere else, at least in my experience in the construction industry. I mean, maybe project management tools like that, but as far as BIM softwares or modeling softwares, drafting softwares, they're very specific to the architect or the designer.
Yeah, even with Revit, whenever we use it, it stops at a certain point and you still print drawings off that and that's taken to the job site. We're trying to get to where it still stays in a digital format and it transforms into some augmented reality stage, but there's a clear defined start and end to its usage.
It accommodates all 3 trades.
That's what's different about TestFit. Yeah, it's not a single user.
So I think what the developers are mostly looking at the beginning is how cheap and how fast can we get this building constructed. And I think TestFit does a good job of providing those tools.
How good it's going to perform and all that can be done later during the other stages. But in the beginning stage, when you're really looking at those 2 main criteria, the cheap and the fast, this targets that very well. So this is really funny. I just saw a quote on the website, on TestFit's website, which says, "This is an incredible tool for real estate developers. It has saved me considerable time and cost."
Cheap, fast, good. Pick 2.